Hello and welcome to some TFT. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded. I was really busy over on my stream playing a lot of awesome games. I beat Hollow Knight all the way through. It was awesome. I'm also playing through Expedition 33, but I thought I would hop into some of this TFT game that I've been playing in my free time. So I was in a tournament a couple weeks ago and I did horribly. I landed in position 69 at the end, which isn't the greatest, but I learned a lot about the game and it kind of really got me playing a little bit more. And so I kind of wanted to show off some TFT, explain what I think about the game, where I'm going with a lot of my strategy, and things like that. Now, first things first, your first couple rounds are pretty easy. All you're trying to do is get a few compositions, some baselines, a little bit of foundation, trying to see what you stumble upon on the PvE rounds. This could be items, this could be level 3 characters, it could be some synergy between a couple of pickups. Like right now, I have synergy between a Shaco and a Mundo, which means we're going for a potential Slayer composition. And then at the end of PvE, I'll see what items I have, figure out what I want to build, and then of course go with the augment that's coming later on. Ooh, let's sell this and get that. There's a good chance we might get Boom Boss. We have a couple of them already. A couple of greens. We got a Golden Ox Grave, which is pretty good. And we have a Shojin. Let's go ahead and throw Kindred on the field for now. So the Shojin creates mana for one of my units whenever you attack. So if you hover over the two, you can see attacks get a bonus 5 mana. So really good on trying to stack that up pretty quickly. You want to usually put it on backliners so they can cast pretty often. But the main appeal here is I do have one sword. And I have a Shaco, and if I can build a level 2 Shaco, I'm looking pretty good in the early game. So let's go ahead and continue playing through here and see how this goes. I think my music's a little bit too loud. I'm gonna turn it down here. Okay, so we have a few offers to us. Gain 2 Lesser Champion Duplicators, gain 7 gold, gain a component, Anvil, when you reach level 5, 6, 7, and 8. You earn no interest, but gain 3 gold at the start of every player combat round. Gain 3 gold now. We're gonna go ahead and pass on that. And I think I might pick this one up and try and get a level 1 Shaco. Let's roll here first. Ooh, an Exotech Crest. Usually going for Exotech is pretty solid, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not very good at Exotech yet, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Heroic Grab Bag. And we're going to try and build out a couple of rosters if we here. So I don't have anything too fantastical in terms of firepower for my compositions. So I'm going to go ahead and sell these guys and do one roll. See if I find anything that I would like. Ooh, we do find a... Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oh my god, it's embarrassing. Can't believe that. I want to grab that Darius, because that Darius would have gave me Syndicate options, which can make my Shaco a lot stronger, but we'll find him later on. Luckily, he was only a green, so not a big deal. Now, you do have a team planner up here, and I've built out a couple of plans. Here we have Shaco Slayers. I'm going to go ahead and log that in for now, just because it will help me find compositions that I want. And I also think that you probably shouldn't be afraid of trying to build out a composition or have these team planners out. They're great guys, and whenever a unit shows up that you would like in your team planner for the late game, it will highlight down here, making it easier to grab. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and rotate once because I'm over 20 gold, and we're hoping to find, here we go, we find a Shaco. You still have a green there, and then we're gonna stay at 20 gold. The 20 gold is gonna give me 2 income. I'm sitting on both a Mundo and a Shaco. Typically, before I slam any items that I have on my field here, I'm waiting for a level 2 to pop up, which can be pretty useful for trying to go for a win streak. But for now, I'm going to try and hover down in this area so I can get better items for Shaco in particular. Now, my next thing that I'm going to do is start paying attention to what my opponents are running. I see 2 Shacos here. Although he doesn't really have any synergy, he might just be sitting on it because he wanted to maybe get a silver. Or, of course, deny people goldens. And then right after this, I'm going to go ahead and start jumping around. And what I'm looking for is Slayer or Syndicate options. If I see Slayer, I'm going to hover over my opponent and see what they have. This one in particular has 1 Shaco, it looks like. This one also has a Shaco. So suddenly I'm in a position where I'm like, I probably don't want to go for a gold. And there's a Shaco there, so we got 2. 3, which is mine. 4, 5, 6. 6 Shacos currently on the board. And I believe there is a total of 25, so there is a good chance I could find one in the future. We do find our Darius. I'm going to put him on the front line and then put this up here as well. We go up to level 4. And we now have 3 Slayer and 2 Bruiser, which will make them a little bit tankier and give them a little bit more HP. So our comp has gotten better overall. But you can kind of see the strength right here of what it looks like to have an early silver character. And that's something I'm going to try and be aware of. My hope here now is that we just clear out as much as we can. Ooh, if you would have got that ult up, then okay. So we don't take too much damage. So right now, I'm kind of in a losing scenario. I have 2 losses already, moving into a 3rd, and we're going to be going first on the carousel because we're already down here at the bottom. Okay, we're going to go ahead and try and grab a Crit Glove. Actually, no, I want the armor here. I want the Edge of Night for Shaco. Let's grab that. Now, you can do things like fill out your composition. If we grabbed this Braum, we would have had 3 Syndicate, right? That's an option, but you want to make sure you're always picking up items that you can utilize. That would have been a bow, and for Shaco in particular, who I probably want to build to grab my early game here, I'm looking for an Edge of Night, I'm looking for a Infinity Edge, and I'm looking for a Hand of Justice, right? So I need a couple of Crit Gloves, I need a couple of swords for that, and the bow doesn't really fit in my plans. Nice, we stumble into a level 2 Mondo. Let's go ahead and pick that up. And let's go ahead and scout our opponents, see if they're still bidding into Shacos at all. We still have the one here, but nothing on the board. So he has 3. And it's looking like people are starting to diversify, right? So this is why you don't want to assume too much of people's boards. So now we have a total of, what, 6 Shacos on the board? At the moment? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have 5 on the board at the moment. So I know there's about 25 Shacos that are in the pool in total. And if 3 have been removed from my opponents, and I have 2 of them, there's a good chance I can build up a Golden Shaco and use him to carry my early game. So we're going to be considering that. There we go. A little bit of damage here. Taking a hit, and I have my duplicators here on the far left, so it's probably time for me to stop the bleeding. I was hoping that I could find a Shaco relatively easy here. Ooh, we grabbed this. Braum. Okay, that's actually pretty huge. I'm actually going to start rolling down to try. Oh my god, we found another Slayer. Hang on here. Let me start cooking real quick. Let me get rid of this guy. My god, we're kind of finding a little bit of everything that we need. There's our Vayne. We find another one of these Sennas. Okay, we find a level 2 Shaco, and I'm going to go ahead and make the decision here not to commit to getting a Golden Shaco. The thought of it sounded pretty good, but we found a lot of options that build into my Slayer composition. I have a total of 3 on my bench that I want to get on the field. Excuse me, 2, but I also want to get my Braum up as well. So I need a couple of slots. So the rest of my money is going to head into getting those slots built out on the board, and of course getting items on the board. Oh! Great from him. Okay, I need the rest of these. Yes, yes, yes. Vayne's not very good until you get a couple of items on her, so she's not going to win that. Alright, so we lost streaked all the way through, but I'm going to be able to turn this phrase pretty well here. In a second. We're going to go ahead and do this PvE phase. Let's go ahead and get these items on the board that I was talking about early on. We'll get Shaco to carry. And Shaco's going to hold my items until later on when I find a Zed. Zed's going to be my hyper carry in the late game. At least currently with the items that I have. And of course, the decisions will change based on what I find here. If I find a lot of like AP items, I might consider throwing in an AP character. But for now, we'll see how it goes. Okay. Got our first item. It's going to be an Elise. I'm going to sell that for the monies. Give me these. We got a J4. J4 is actually something that I want to have on my board. And we'll throw that here. Alright, we found another Shaco. I'll go ahead and sit on it, but I'm not going to like force this issue in any way, shape, or form. Cool. Let's go ahead and go up to level 6. We're going to put Braum on the field. He'll give me a little bit more tankiness. And then we will do one J4. J4 is pretty important here because he gives me Vanguard as well. So now my front line has gotten stronger, and I have 4 Slayers. I do have one of the pivotal items I need for Shaco to be effective. It's going to be the Hand of Justice. And we're going to go ahead and use these duplicators here to build a couple of my units, just to get stronger in general. So we'll do J4 up here as well. And I need to get to level 7, which I'm going to try and focus on. The problem is I have been spending a lot of money and not getting the best results right now. So I'm hoping that this will crush my loss streak that I'm having. And as you can see, with me getting the Syndicate and putting it hot on Shaco, he unlocks the ability to teleport to people that are low on HP. So now he's a bit stronger. That's why this 3 Syndicate is so important in this 4 Slayer composition. Nice. So we've broken our loss streak and hoping to go for a win streak. We do have 1 augment coming in relatively soon. See what we get offered to us. Get a random emblem and a reforger. Late game specialist. When you reach level 9, gave 33 gold. I might want to go this route because I'm trying to get back in the game. Only issue is that Slayer actually only requires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 folks in general. So I'm not going to be rushing at level 9, but having some money showing up would be nice. Let's roll and see if we can find anything that can help us. Gain an Edge of Night. Champion's almost item gain 35% attack speed. Good for Shaco and could give me a lot of tempo. Let's go ahead and go that route. We're going to pick this up. We get an Edge of Night to build into. For now, we're going to put this on J4, who's going to help hold that. He'll bring a little bit more damage in it. I'm going to put him in a position where he's in the middle of 2 tanks, so he has a chance to go for his attacks. And from here, we're going to try and build up as much economy as we can. Let's go ahead and sell the 1 J4 we have, get up to 28 gold, and we're going to sell 1 Senna to be over 31 gold. Going to hold this Shaco just in case I happen to stumble into a triple, but probably going to get rid of him eventually at some point. Okay, now we just watch our team fight. You're going to keep an eye on Shaco. I want him to start getting some kills. He also has a passive here that every time he gets a takedown, he will get additional damage built into his kit. So right now he has a total of 7 kills, and he has 10.5% extra AD damage. Looking pretty strong. We do have a Negatron Cloak and a Chain Vest, with us having 2 Edge of Knights, which I intend to put on Zed and Shaco. We're looking pretty strong, but I may consider getting another Edge of Knight just because I have this not today, so I would need to stumble into another sword for that to occur. We do find a purple here, but it's not a purple that really builds into my comp really well, so we're going to go ahead and let it go. And from here, we're going to go ahead and set up and move into the carousel round after our next fight. Now, I'm hoping I'm not doing too much damage to my opponents. I want to stay down here so I can still get better choices. I think like a spatula could show up, right? Or a frying pan, which the frying pan, if I find it with a Negatron, I can build another Slayer item, right? Which will give me more spaces on the board because I won't have to use an actual unit, right? So I can build late game stuff. So we'll see how this goes. So far, so good. If we look at our damage numbers, J4 and Shaco are doing their duty. And it looks like we go ahead and clean up this fight here on the top side. So you can kind of see how a plan can really start to pay off. You need to figure out where you want to push for limits, where you don't want to push for limits. Right now, in terms of units, everything on my board is looking relatively strong because they are level 2, which means level silvers, except for Braum. But Braum I can't really reliably find until I get to level 7. Okay, we're looking for another sword composition. Actually, we have one right here. If we can get that Sejuani too, I can sell it. It's worth 4 gold for me. Nice. We do get it. Coolio. So that's my 3rd item I was looking for to put on Shaco. And I get a little bit of gold as exchange. So that's kind of one of the reasons why losing can be strong in this game. If you're on the bottom and you have good rolls and you happen to just pick up things that people don't want in the lobby, you can build whatever you want out of what the game offers you. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and sell Sejuani's worth 4 points. We're going to go ahead and put the IE over here on Shaco. That'll give him some burst damage. And now he's a full carry for the moment. Our additional points are going to go into building up to level 7. Now here, I would force level 7 if A, I was winning, or B, I felt that it made my board that much stronger. Sadly, my next character, Senna, is not something that I'm going to put on the board and do well with, right? If I put her on the board, it's only going to give me 5 Slayer. Now, there is a benefit of her being a Divin Corp, which buffs your entire team, and her advantage is that she gives a little bit more attack damage. But not really something I need right now. The level 2 Vayne probably does a little bit better. She has true damage, so she helps me out with killing these tanks in the front line that Shaco might not excel at. Speaking of, this guy has an insane roll. He currently has a level 1 Urgot who has an execute, so he's going to be pulling people in and turning them into items. Luckily for me, we have enough lifesteal and attack speed to get through it, but that guy might be scary later on. Now, we were on a loss streak earlier, but you're starting to see what happens when you're able to force a win streak in TFT. Ooh, we find a Braum. It's always good to find. Mundo I don't really need to pick up because I don't have any items on him, and getting him to a golden would just give me extra HP. It wouldn't really give me too much. We're gonna go ahead and drop our additional points into getting level 6. Now, as a reminder, if you are playing TFT, whenever you have 50 gold, you will get up to 5 income tax, and that is your max unless you find an augment that changes that. So that's why I'm taking this extra gold and spending it here to try and get up. Now, I am hoping that my next fight is going to go into my favor, as I would really like to ensure, and I want to ensure it so much, I'm actually going to build an item here. I want to ensure that I have this win streak, because once I hit 5 win streak, I get plus 2 gold. So far, my front line is holding quite well. And with it all said and done, it would appear that I am going to be able to clean this up. Great, so now we're in win streak territory. Huge! We are slowly climbing the leaderboard here. We went all the way from 8th place to now being in 3rd place. Now, my next focus is to try and find my last Slayer, which is going to be Zed. Zed shows up. What purple? Ooh, nice! I love rolling a Braum. We'll take that. Let's get Zed on the field too. There we go. Zed shows up on the purple chance. Now, I got to level 7, which gives me a 10% chance for it to be found. Level 8 would also increase that, but my main objective is probably get to level 9 if I don't see any other people running a Zed. If I start seeing other people having Zed on the field, there's only so many on the field that I can pick up. I think there's around 16, if I remember correctly, purples in the pool for everybody. So, I just need to get 3 of them to get a level 2. And ideally I get more than 3 of them, obviously. I get 9 to build a golden, but that is really rare, especially when you're trying to climb in ranked. Okay, we have additional items hitting us up over here. We do have a tank item in between the Giant's Belt and the Tear of Goddess, which I'm currently eyeing, as well as a Hex Blade. Now, these items aren't really too helpful for me, but this one does lead into Zed because I want to have the same items that I have on Shaco on Zed. So I'm considering leaving these alone right now and seeing how it pays out. There is an option to find a Reforger later on as well, so I can turn this AP item into something that I can utilize. But we'll see what we get first, and if we start losing, then we'll probably slam those. But right now, I'm going to sit on these items. Okay. Front line continues to dominate. Our Shaco is eaten pretty well. A total of 18 kills this game with a 27% increase in damage. Typically, if you can find a golden Shaco really early, you can kind of snowball in the late game pretty well until people start getting to a point where they are sniping your units quite quickly. Gain 5 giant belts. Your giant belts grant 60% HP. That could help me on my front line. I'm thinking about doing it, to be honest with you. Gain a Randuin's Omen. Its range increased by 1 hex, and its effect is increased by 33. Also helpful for my tankiness. Let's go ahead and roll. We see a Blazing Soul and the Belt Overflow, which again is a lot of giant belts, which can give me a lot of tankiness on these two people in particular. Which I do want them to survive. You know what? I might go for the belt. Let's roll. Ooh, we get a carry now. Get a golem with tailored offensive items. It gets stronger at the start of each stage. I'm going to pick I'm the carry now. Let's do it. Ooh, up to 6 champions with 1 or fewer items gain a copy of a random completed item from the nearest itemized ally. I'm gonna do I'm the carry now. Okay, so that gives me an additional golem. The golem is gonna help me run this front line, and I'm already on a win streak, so this is a good pick for me to get out that win streak. It's kind of why I went for that decision, but sponging could have also been really good because I'm building a Slayer composition. At 6 Slayers, I'm gonna get 70% extra damage and 20% lifesteal, and overhealing heals the lowest percent health Slayer 50% of the excess amount as well. So Slayers are really good at snowballing. So obviously I want to keep that snowball going. Oh, speaking of snowballing though, this Senna does a fantastic job of cutting into my win streak. And we get knocked down into an L there. So at this point, once I get my first L, I'm going to start thinking about, okay, how do I get Zed on my table as soon as possible? And still the answer is to level up as quickly as we can. So let's go up to level 8. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and grab this Misfortune, just to put something on the field, and then I'm going to look and see if there's anything in particular that I could use that would be a little bit better currently offered to me. And the answer looks like, nah, bruh. So we'll pick up Misfortune here. She can get some decent spread on damage. We're going to move our Shaco into the middle so he stops taking damage. The Edge of Night helps out with that, but obviously I would like him to do a little bit on the better side. And then we're going to sell this Braum here because we don't need to build him up. Alright, we're probably going to employ a strategy here if I lose again called Fast 9, and it's pretty much what it means. Fast 9 means you rush to Fast 9 as quickly as you can. And it comes to the point where I might even spend some extra gold to kill in my income to make sure that I get there, right? If I get to Fast 9, I have a better chance of finding the Zed that I need, and also some late game gold carries that could be really useful. Now, we're going to head in the carousel. Currently, we are 3rd place in the leaderboard, which means we are going to go 2nd to last in the open. So I need to look at a realistic thing that I need to pick up here. Crit gloves would be really, really good for my Hand of Justice. Could also work out for my IE, but that's been taken right away. Next thing I can do is build another Edge of Night by grabbing this Misfortune. And I might go with that option in particular. Here we go, let's go for it. So having 2 Edge of Nights would be great, because I do have the benefit of Not Today, giving the champions attack speed when they use it. And then I might go ahead and decide to commit to more items. We do have a Mecha Soldier phase in a couple of rounds that could give me some items as well. But we're getting to a point there where things are looking a little scary. Ah, good for us. We roll our Zed, and we now have TrikSlyr. So, let's start building some items on him. Let's give him this Edge of Night, for sure. And then I'm actually going to build this Giant's Belt into tier for my J4, and then split these up just a smidgen to help out. So now this redemption is going to heal both my Golem and my Zed. Actually, I'm going to switch these because he actually has really good items here. And will heal my 2 carries. Now, eventually I want to switch these items over into Zed if I cannot find more copies of Hand of Justice or IE. But I'm going to wait until he's level 2 before that happens. He's pretty strong, but I wouldn't put it at a point where I think he's a carry quite yet. I think Shaco still holds that title. But you're starting to see how Shaco, this level 1, is starting to fall off as we get to the late game. Something to surely worry about. Oh my god, this guy is tanking like crazy. He has a Bramble and a lot of HP. It looks like we finally sniped the Urgot, and we just barely get by this guy, but he's starting to become an issue for me. We find another Zed. That's incredible to find. Let's go ahead and sell this Misfortune. We're going to go ahead and commit to trying to get to level 9 as quickly as we can. We're at 30 out of 76, and we have a nice amount of HP to go for. Now, we're going to try and find a late game composition that helps out for us. We have a couple of things we could do. We could go into a late game carry like Urgot if we find one, and he could give us a few more items. We can pick up a Garen, which will spread out more emblems because he makes them every couple of rounds. We could do Aurora and try to go for some AP because our current composition is full AD at the moment, right? And of course, our best option is getting to level 9 will help us find our level 2 Zed. Looks like we clean up this lobby pretty quickly. Now, our goal at this point is trying to decide if we want to go for 1st place or go for 4th. 4th means that you're in the winnings and you're going to rank up. Obviously, anything below 4th is going to be a negative for your MMR. 1st place is where you get the most, and you usually want to decide whether or not you can get there. Person in 1st place currently is running Divin Corp with Executioner, Slayer, and Vanguard. Looking pretty alright, but it looks like he's running at Vex composition. And ideally, I should be able to get to that backline and take it out if I'm playing well. So I might be able to get 1st place. It's going to come down to these items, though. Let's find out if we're going to go that route. This game's been pretty fortunate, actually. Despite our rough start, we've been able to play off our income most of the time. We haven't been really threatened too much by the opposing teams, and the roll on Zed was really lucky. We find a Draven and a Fiddle. Let's go ahead and sell those. They don't really build anything that we could utilize. Find another J4, but I'm not building him into a gold. Not quite yet. And let's put our points in getting level 9. So now we are at level 9. We're going to roll once and try to find something that we can throw in the back line here that can be useful. Slash build into our compositions. I'm going to put the Nitro Dynamite for now. Okay, we are going to put a Rage Blade on Vayne. Here we go. Toss that in. And then I'm actually going to make a Bloodthirster, I think, here. Yeah. And the Bloodthirster is actually going to go on J4 to keep him alive. He can actually be a little bit on the scary side. Bloodthirster can be okay on Zed, but not my preferred item. Good damage so far by our team. And you can kind of see how J4 stays alive with that Bloodthirster. Whew, able to cook on through. I can sell that Shaco, by the way. Still not going to build him anymore. We find an Overlord Division Comp Bastion for Renekton. Let's go ahead and pick him up. He's going to give us a little bit of attack damage and lifesteal, which is nice. And then we're going to bring him over here, and we're going to have him bite our highest DPS right now, which is going to be Senna. We're going to put Senna down here, and then what we're going to do to create a little bit of space for him is bring our Mundo down to help protect this back line, and then shift everything a little bit here. Just a smidgen. So he's going to bite her, take her AD damage, and come up here on the right side and help out with the fight. Another Urgot in the back left. So he took a bite of her, and now heads in this direction. And remember, Divincorp builds out your entire team, right? So getting that extra damage is pretty helpful for him. And with it all said and done, our team is cooking through pretty quickly. This is actually the person that is in third place, behind me a little bit HP, and we kind of wake through him pretty quickly. So we're feeling pretty good about that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start spending our money and rolling. I'm going to get purples and golds, because I want to find my Zed. Ooh, Burnbot, Executioner, Urgot. It's always nice to have. Okay. So, what I'm doing with this strategy, and this is something that I kind of learned as I'm playing a little bit, is I'm doing my best to take away purples and put them on my bench. So that way I have a higher chance to find my Zed that I'm looking for. And I'll be doing the same for gold as well. We do have one giant spell. I'm going to go ahead and toss that on top of Darius, who's currently one of our frontline tanks trying to stay alive. Just a little bit more HP to help out. Longer he stays alive, the better. And I have a Rage Blade on Vayne. How Vayne works is that when she does when she builds out her mana, she'll do 3 attacks instantly. And those 3 attacks are considered true damage. So giving her more attack speed will make her attack faster and start to become a threat. Now, this is the person currently in first place, and you can see that Vex was doing a lot of damage as well as that Senna. So these are characters that I'm going to have to consider trying to get rid of in the future. Ooh, we do find a Giant Slayer. I may want to pick that up. Either a Rage Blade or a Giant Slayer would be really nice for me. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for the Giant Slayer. Just kidding, that was taken from me. Instead, we'll go ahead and pick up this, the Last Whisper. Now, the Last Whisper is going to sunder opponents. And sundering opponents means they are weaker to auto attacks / AD damage. 30% target for 3 seconds. This effect does not stack. It reduces armor. So I'm going to put that on Vayne here. And Vayne's going to attack from here, and that'll make both my Zed and my Shaco better. Speaking of, let's go ahead and commit to our Zed. Let's test it on the field. We'll do that here for Shaco as well. And let them cook. We're going to continue the strategy of rolling through and building up our comps as we go. Syndicate Bruiser's level 2. We found a golden. I'm going to go ahead and commit to purples for now. We're going to stay at 49 gold. If I win, I get +1 gold. And that's the case for every single round of TFT all the way through. It's not new, I just didn't mention earlier. You can see Zed kind of teleporting around now, having that damage. Ooh, but he gets hit by a random brand, which is painful. And you can kind of see how this composition starts to fall apart pretty quickly if you're not in point. Let's go ahead and sell one of our purples here, so we can stay over that 50 gold. And I'm around 38 AP, so I'm starting to take a little bit of damage. Finally, we find our level 2 Zed, which is a great pickup for us. That'll make him a little bit on the stronger side. And now we can start building for our golden / level 5 characters. We want to find another Renekton, and we would love to find a level 3 Zed. It's going to be hard, but it is doable. I'm going to go ahead and sell this. I'm going to try and build a double. So the strategy behind this is that if I build into a level 2, I have 3 already built on one spot, so I'm saving space on my bench, right? Okay. Fight continues here. Zed goes to the back line, and hopefully we're going to see how strong he can be as level 2. Starts to really get into that carry potential. If you can see his damage here is starting to really spike. Heals continuing for our team. Meanwhile, while it's happening in the back line, Vayne continues to attack and get stronger and stronger by the second. And with it all said and done, we easily clean up Lieutenant Whackman, who currently is still in 3rd place, falling into 4th. We find a level 2 brand, we pick that up. You can see how he clears up the space for me. We grab a golden, and then we grab one more Aphelios. I'm gonna leave one spot here. Typically killing this off will give me more augments to make stronger units, right? So I would love to use that to my advantage. I'm also gonna bring Mundo up here a little bit too. And I like him here. He's just gonna fill in the spots wherever it's weak. And this should give me a couple of gold too to build into 50. Sell the Draven, there we go. Waiting for items, the Yumi we sell. Oh my god, did we not get any items? There it is. Okay, we're looking for things that can make our front line stronger and continue to be impactful for our team. We have Protector's Vow, Tooth, another Edge of Night. You know what, let's go and pick the Edge of Night. Because again, we have this augment over here that's giving us attack speed. Not amazing, but it will help out Vayne in particular. In fact, I might actually throw... You know what? I'm gonna do it this way. Edge of Night, this here, and the Rage Blade on the Vayne. Yeah? Sound fun? Sounds good to me. Renekton level 2 comes in, and we are cooking at the moment. Alright, so my next phase here is I'm going to try and try to fit into 10 composition. Maybe a Divin Corp can help out. The more Divin Corps you have, it does increase their bonuses. Yeah, you can see Renekton really getting in there now with a couple of items. I should have done that earlier. Yes! Zed trying to cook. Zed trying his best here. Oh my gosh. This person just has best items in the game right now. Looking strong in general. We do find an Aurora. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Aurora. And I might slam building up to level 9. Let's go ahead and put a few points here. Only problem with that is I don't really have any AP items. But Aurora is interesting because she'll be on the field. And she can bring in another unit to help out with controlling space, right? So effectively, I'll have 10 on the board and an 11th when she switches it out. We could find an AP item here. In particular, I would love to find a Morelos for her. But she is a great tool in this game. Okay, let's see how this goes. Team steps up. Front line taking some damage. Shaka trying to clean up where he can. Zed already here in the back left, trying to go for the back line. Solid damage so far. Big splash of damage coming in for the Kabuko. Zed trying to get through it though. Oh, it's gonna be close. He gets some good lifesteal. Now in a one-on-one scenario with the late game unit and able to clean it up, knocking them out just barely. All right, we actually find another Aurora, which is a great find for us. Doesn't look like we're going to find the Zed, so I'm going to go ahead and sell these purples. Grab that here. Make sure we stay on top of these goldens. And then Sejuani is actually a great purple to switch in with Aurora, so I'm probably going to use that later on. Let's go ahead and build up. Actually, let's go ahead and commit. Get the Aurora on the field, because we're about to fight this guy. We're in a one-on-one scenario. We're fighting for basically first or second place at the moment. So she'll do some attacks, and the moment she uses her first spell, she switches the first character over here on the far left. So we're hoping that we have enough firepower / damage for us to be effective. Okay, team continues to cook on through. Zed on the back line, but the lifesteal is just so much from that Vex. Nice. Good diving, though. We do have our back line there. We finally do take out the Vex, and now we're in a scenario where we're taking less person, and we actually take them out. Yes! Okay, we're hoping for a Morelos on this board. A Morelos would be massive for us if we could find it. If not, we can get a Hand of Justice for Shaco. I don't see a Morelos, sadly. I could get a double Rage Blade. Actually, let's go for the Bloodthirster. And we're going to go ahead and put that on our Renekton, who's doing pretty good on damage, 5,000, but this gives him a chance to stay alive a little bit longer. And then we're going to go ahead and commit to rolling down. Oh my god, it's another Renekton. Look at that. We're going to try and find our Aurora if we can. Let's, oh god, I'm choking. Let's roll down. We're trying to find our Aurora. Come on. Another Sejuani is good for us as well. Let's pick that up. We're rolling. Come on, Aurora, come to me. Oh, we do find a Senna, which will be a level 2. A little bit too late if you ask me, but let's go ahead and pick that up. And then we find our Aurora. So we can definitely utilize that. I'll go ahead and sell that and grab that. Okay, the fight continues. A lot of bouncing around. They do have a strong front line with Zac. Zed's trying to do all that he can. J4 gets picked off. This Vex is cooking. A little bit of lifesteal, and it's not enough. He cleans me up. I go down to 7 HP. All right, we're going to bring in Senna level 2 as well as Aurora. We're going to check out his board and check out his positioning and see if I can make any adjustments. It looks like he's hiding the Vex on the far right. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring these guys over here. We're going to put this in the middle. Okay, put this over here, put him there, and then we're going to bring this Aurora right here on the right. So they'll bring them in on the side. Let's make sure we put these in the middle to keep our healing going up. I'm actually going to put this up here to try and have a better chance for my tank to survive and let Shako do his thing. And then the idea is that this Renekton should walk up and move up right in the front. Let's see if that change does anything for us. Okay, healing goes out. Our Darius is hit right away. Gets blown up immediately, but at least he took the damage. Mundo took the second damage for us. We're hoping that we can get our Zed to that back line. He gets to the back line, but I don't know if he has enough firepower. Renekton is able to sneak on his way in, though. He goes for the damage. Sejuani goes for the stun. And we just barely get some damage on him. Oh my gosh, what an insane ending. Okay, the only thing I can really do here is attempt to find a level 2 Sejuani to make my board a bit stronger. We are in a position where our late game is going to let us get a little bit more money as we're doing a PvE phase and potentially an item. I might want to pick up some anti-MR or things that can shock my opponent quite heavily. Let's see what we get from this thing. I'm looking for a Morelos, for Aurora. I'm looking for an Ionic Spark to help out with like casting from Vex. Let's see what we get here. A little bit of money. We find a Misfortune that we don't need. Our money goes up to 30, and we have one completed item. What do we have here? We have one more Edge of Night, but we have nothing that really helps us with our opponents at all. So we're gonna go ahead and pick that up, and we're gonna go ahead and put this on top of Vayne, and we're just gonna roll down and try and find our Sejuani. Let's buy purples. We find our Sejuani. We are in. So now we want to try and build level 2s on purple if we can. Let's get rid of this. And we are in the late game. Let's see how this all pays out. I'll go ahead and sell everything that I don't need, just in case I happen to survive here. It's close, but I'm pretty sure it's the last fight of the game. Our team runs in. Our Zed is able to get the back line. There's a decent amount of damage. Sejuani is now here. Sejuani eats the front line, unable to go for a root, but that's okay. Our J4 is moving in. Our carry Golem is going straight for that back line, trying to go for the Vex. The Vex will get picked off. There is a Senna left. It's a close fight overall. The auto attacks are coming out. The shots, it's so close right now. But it looks like we're going to get picked off. We go down to a negative 11 NHP, but we take second place, so not too shabby. Thank you all for watching. Hope to get some more content up. I'll see you guys around. Goodbye.